I don't know.
This is the story of a
Let's
man
see.
named Stanley.
Okay.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long
Isn't
to
that
push
all
them,
work
and in what
monkeys,
order.
basically?
This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in.
That's how
as though he had
how
been
jobs
made
can be
exactly
sometimes.
for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Well, if it makes him happy, I don't see why he wouldn't.
And then one
continue.
day, something very peculiar happened. Something that
Okay.
would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been
Continue.
at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow.
Okay.
No one had showed up to give him instructions, call
It's
a
on
meeting,
the apocalypse,
or even
baby?
say hi. Never in all his years at the company
All right,
had
Arcraft.
this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he
Yeah.
came to his wits and regained his
Because
senses,
he has never
he got up from his
exerted free
desk
will
and
in his
stepped out of his
entire
office.
existence in that job. Okay, so this is that. Is there a jump button? Ooh, a crouch. Crouch. No jump button. All right. I left head bobbing on.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
You aren't gonna read it. There's no reading of the memos here. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, if they left a while ago. Cause, like, look at how dingy and stained this is. Like, you haven't been here. They haven't been here in a while, sir. Like, look at this. Like,
No
this
matter
is
how
fine.
hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Yeah, narrator, I'll get to it. Just let me theory craft. Okay? ZG. Oh my gosh. Let me move this mouse before I make mistakes. And then, like, also, it's a little sus that you're like, you look out into the windows and nothing's there. Stanley, I don't know how long you've been here, but I'm skeptical. Ooh, secrets? Ooh, maybe. More secrets? No. Give me. I want the secrets. Fine. Let me try the door. No. No. Okay. We'll move forward. Because the narrator wants it. Ooh, another door. Nope. Let me see. Maybe here. It's a simulation of a scenario I made up. Ah. I want the secrets, though. I want to snoop and be nosy. Is that too hard to ask?
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
It didn't advance the story. It didn't advance the story. Well, I'm sorry. I'm trying to cover my bases, narrator. Okay. I want to try every door. Probably will get an achievement for trying every door. Ooh. Back rooms? Back rooms? Maybe. Nope.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, He entered the door on his left.
Nope. You've been mean. Oh, wait. Is that left or right? Shit. It was left. Curse my problems with left, right. I just did the foam fingers, the goalpost fingers. Okay. Just to see. Okay, I'll do that. I guess, like,
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Yeah. Story-wise, yeah, I think I do agree. Since I've already made this mistake, we'll just go the path of what he would do in terms of following the narrator, because I do agree. It makes sense for his characterization. Everyone is unique. You most of all. Show me the other slide. Number of slides on this slide. Charts, slides, charted slides. Oh my gosh. This reminds me of my presentation. The average Joe scenario. One does one thing for a long time. The orders do things come in. Joe becomes scared to do. Okay. It's getting a little AI generated here. Let's go before the AI kills us.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Is it this door? No. Oh, someone has a lavish office. Where's the secretary? And why does she have 2 phones? Does she have 2 phones and 2 area codes? I don't know if you guys know that reference.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
But yeah. But basically, this reminds me of, like, binary code. Like...
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
So if he followed directions and did not hear the narrator, he would go back to his desk.
2845.
Oh, you want me to do it then? Be clear. Clear with your intentions, narrator. Because am I supposed to know or am I not supposed to know? Why are you interjecting?
But it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself, and Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
If I fall down here, do I die? No. Can I press the button, though? Am Am I going to Disneyland?
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years
Because he got
it
Truman
had never
Showed.
occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Okay, we'll go the way of the narrator.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
How do I find out, though? Do I go here? Okay, we have guess. Oh, camera feed.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore
Where's my
the
number?
number of an employee in the building,
There.
Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals
Here I
reduced to
am,
images
right
on
there.
a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
This is also giving Squid Games vibes. Even though I do know Stanley Parable, like,
This
is way
mind control
before.
facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
yeah.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery
What
would
is this?
never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Okay. What does this button do? Nothing. It says that I have, so like it's my mic sounds weird.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Okay, I'll press the off button and exert the non-existent free will that you have imparted on me.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
Probably not.
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp?
Testing.
What other mysteries did this strange building hold?
Testing.
But as sunlight streamed
Testing.
into the chamber, he
Testing.
realized none
Okay,
of this mattered to
mic
him.
is a little
For it was
uneven,
not
so maybe
knowledge or
that's
even power that
what's
he
going
had
on.
been seeking, but happiness.
Testing.
Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would
It's the
anyone
game
tell
audio?
him where to go, what to do, or how to feel.
Okay.
Whatever life he lives,
Let me see.
it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Okay. Let me see. I'm trying to figure it out. But is that better? Is it better? Okay. I think we're gonna have to keep trucking along, but let me see. Settings wise. Okay. Maybe should I turn down the sound effects? Okay. There. Maybe that fixes it. Okay. Okay. Yay, I'm
Stanley
in Skyrim.
felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way,
Hey, Tamar.
right now,
What's up?
that things
Are you having a
were
good day?
meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
But you have no free will, so you will probably die in the wild. Yay, I got my first achievement. Woo! Alright. Let's see. Okay, so now
All of his co-workers were gone.
we're gonna go.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
So we checked all of this stuff last time. It's fixed? Okay. So it was the sound effects.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Wait. Foam fingers. Yes.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Can I go in here? Come on. I just want a door. Oh, that's kind of sad. Your view is just some guy's door to his office. Oh well. This one looked like he got fired. Was this the one that got fired? Or audited or whatever?
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
I want a drink! Give me soda! Narrator?
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings.
Doesn't matter.
Really worth it.
Doesn't matter if they vanish. I didn't really see them every day anyways. I was stuck in my office, so really they could have been
Stanley's
gone a
obsession
long
with
time
this
ago.
room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Oh, because I am a terrible person? Because I had feelings? What?
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, He decided that the game was trying to send him, but at last he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Too bad. Ooh, blueprints. What do we have here? What were you building?
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Ooh. Can I parkour? Nope. Not there. Penalty for misuse of cargo lift, $100. Penalty for jumping off a cargo lift, $5,000. Do not jump from cargo lift while it's in motion. Will cause death. Well, no one's here to penalize me, so let's go.
Look, Stanley, I think, but in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Oh,
all of his
I love
co-workers
that.
were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Nope.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Yes, this room.
Nope.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Now I want to see where the cargo lift goes.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
I'm
Look,
using
Stanley,
your
I
cargo
think perhaps
lift.
we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone
Really,
you've
it's
been
about me.
neglecting, Stanley.
Because it
Someone
sounds
you've
like it's more
forgotten
about you.
Please,
And your
stop trying to make every decision
condescending
by
tone
yourself.
to drive
I'm not asking for
and
me. I'm
drive
asking for
to
her.
go and push me to do things that I don't want to do. Did you ever think of that, narrator?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside.
Nope.
To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Who?
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach
Is
out
this
to
a
her.
hostage
If you
situation?
can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Fine.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting.
I have a
I'm just
wife?
pulling the bread out of the oven. All right.
Is she like a
Okay, there we
50s
go.
housewife?
All right, now.
Who
I
the
want you to
hell?
come in and tell me all about your
You couldn't even pay for,
Gotcha.
for her to look like
Oh,
something?
Come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Okay, I'm listening.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Is she gonna kill me? Is she gonna kill me?
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every
You're gonna
button that he
roast
pushes
me?
is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Oh, man. Oh, the inconsequential condition of my existence? Oh, wow. Quite a burn. You couldn't think of anything else?
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown. Fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
To watch TV? Like, press F to...
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth.
That's just
the thought excited him terribly.
Press down to spend time with the boys.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door.
You played it before?
The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Oh. I'm going to prepare.
As he wandered through this fantasy world,
it's starting to get
he began to fill it with many possible
interesting.
paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room.
Can we just get rid of the
with
lady at this
monitors
point?
and
It's
mind
just showing your
controls.
incompetence.
And down another was a yellow
narrator.
line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Sure. I know. I heard. Press C. Press down.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Fine.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets. The more he forgets which life is the real one.
So it's the all-in-your-head ending,
basically?
basically?
That in this world, he can never be anything but an observer. That as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself.
But isn't that the point? You're projecting onto Stanley, because the whole point of being a narrator is being a casual observer and describing what you are seeing. I don't know, narrator. I think you're projecting, because Stanley, he doesn't have much opinions of his own. But you, on the other hand, have literally are projecting your ideals. I think you might have some issues that you need to work out, maybe in therapy. I'm planning on 100%ing it, don't worry.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
When are you going to strangle me with a telephone cord? What are you going to do?
I suppose I can't. Not in the
You're
way
running
I want
out of,
to. But
like,
I don't make the rules.
Why are you prolonging
I simply play
this?
to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see.
Nope.
Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
I just made him go crazy. Love it. Well, we got another ending.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I heard there's like a
When
broom
Stanley
closet
came to a set
ending.
of 2 open doors, he entered the door
Here, I'll
on
give you
his
false
left.
hope. I'll give you false hope. I think there's a like a broom closet that I saw somewhere. And like when you go this way.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling
Where's
a
the
wave
broom
of
closet?
disbelief, Stanley
There it
decided to go
is.
up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Yes!
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
No, I think I'm comfy here. I'm gonna stay here. So chat,
There was
how
nothing
you doing?
here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet.
I don't
No
know, it's
reason to
pretty
still be
full.
here.
I see tape, some bins, I see some wire. Ooh, a
It was baffling
broom.
that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's
I am
literally just standing there doing
quite
sweet FA.
Nicely doing your job of narrating what I am seeing and checking out my surroundings.
Are you really still in the broom closet?
Yes.
Standing around doing nothing? Why?
Yeah.
Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
No explanation. It's just a wonderful broom's closet. Nothing to see here. I want to check out the tape that's on the top. Look,
You do
there's a whole
realize there's
bin
no
on the top
choice or
with a
anything in
pencil.
here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance
Why
to the
would you
story
put it in big writing,
whatsoever.
though?
I never would have thought to mention
You wouldn't
it.
have put it in big writing if it wasn't important. So, look at the mop
Maybe
bucket.
to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friend, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
Here, can I close it?
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid.
Oh, you're
He probably only
insulting me
got the
now?
job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
That took a left turn. Oh my god.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous
Yeah, I'm
system
fine.
and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities.
Oh my
It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area.
I don't know, I'm
and instruct
contributing to
another human
society.
To take their place,
You know,
making sure they
decomposition
understand
creates
basic
fungus.
first-person
Fungus
video
feeds off
game
of
mechanics
corpses.
and filling
Once
them in on the
my
history
corpse
of
becomes
narrative
nice
tropes
fungi,
in video gaming.
spores will spread
so
out,
that the irony
and then voila,
and
we have The
insightful
Last of
commentary
Us.
of this game is not lost on them. All right. When you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
Oh, let's give him false hope.
Ah, second player. You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
Let's see. Nope. Let me see.
Coming to a staircase,
No!
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
No. You made me mad. No. Ooh, looks like death. What's under here? Ooh, interesante.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss,
No.
admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that.
Ooh,
And in
okay,
such a
so this
competitive
part is gonna be
economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment
Well,
for no reason at all. None of
you
it made any
believe
logical sense.
And the word
And as
of
Stanley
Jesus
pondered
Christ,
this, he began to make other
there's
strange
such a
observations.
theory of
For
the
example,
rapture.
why couldn't he see
So
his
there's a
feet when he
possibility.
looked down?
Maybe that's
Why did doors
reason?
close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating?
I left
No,
because
Stanley said to himself,
I tried
This is all too strange.
I tried to
This
see
can't
if I
be
could
real.
like go
And at last,
and
he came
progress
to
the
conclusion
story and then
that had
come
been
back
on the tip of his tongue.
to like
He
mess with
just
him,
hadn't
but
found
it,
the
it,
words
it
for it.
locked the door
I'm
behind me.
dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have
Can I get in
finally
a
found
car?
an answer, an explanation. His
I get in a
co-workers weren't
trunk?
actually gone.
I've been in a trunk before.
He wasn't going to lose his
would-
job.
it would be
He
fun.
wasn't crazy after all. And he
Can I
thought
get
to
into
himself,
your
I
trunk?
suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
I don't know.
Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice
Ooh, it's
describing
getting
me,
older.
thinking about
And
how it's describing my
moldy.
thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd, and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course,
More mold.
this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself? Believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself?
Ooh, it's a loop.
Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley.
Not really.
After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that?
No.
This voice was a part of himself too.
No.
Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would
No.
prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he
I'm
thought to
still
himself.
moving.
I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue
No.
pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal.
Am I wearing you down,
Everything
narrator?
will be fine. I am okay. Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone
Ooh, it's
tell me
red.
I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice?
No.
Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
No one can see you, hear you scream in space.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Oh,
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane.
Okay.
I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't.
Okay.
It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better.
Floor.
But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this. So it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body.
Off of somebody else's
and then
opinion,
she turned and ran.
But that's not what she did, narrator, so you're not doing a good job. Let me see if I touch the buttons. Okay. Let's see.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Let's go. These offices remind me of Portal a bit.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Okay, let's see if I can find...
The lounge was sublime, a work of art. What was it? But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Yay! Where are we going? We're going on a trip.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here, it's, left.
Which left? I don't have a left or a right. I just have going somewhere.
Oh, no. No, it's to the right. My mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking?
Oh, my gosh.
It's clearly... Oh, dear. Would you hold on for a minute, please?
He's messing with me now.
Now, let's see. We went down right, left,
He
down,
lost his
left,
directions!
Right. Yep. Okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Okay. Sure about that? Because I just see a maintenance truck.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes.
No.
Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
We got another ending. Alright.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Now what we're going to do is...
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
It was intended. Ooh, there is an open door here. How do I get to it, though? Let's see.
When Stanley... Wait, what?
Oh my gosh.
No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, Did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or...
Maybe.
Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure.
Yay!
Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
See, now we're agreeing. See, cooperation. I want to go in here, though. Okay. I can go in here by going this way. I saw this. And then...
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again?
No.
Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
All right.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Going forward.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Maybe. Yeah, but you have a tendency of locking the door behind me. But you haven't been doing, so maybe that's what you're doing wrong.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Oh, we're losing details. Oh my gosh, it is moldy. Has black mold everywhere.
Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all.
Oh
is this
my
the story?
gosh.
I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe
It
my
is
story
so
took
gutted.
place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all.
Oh.
We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and
have to
square,
say,
and this
though,
was
it's
not
so
one of
bad
those
work.
situations.
Trying to
Okay?
divert
I'm
from
getting
the story,
weirded out
though.
by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Oh my gosh, it has like an
All
adventure
right,
line.
I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Oh, you think that's simple? But it is going in a completely different direction, so let's check it. We're going on a trip.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in
saw
this
the
direction.
line.
Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there?
Yeah.
Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story?
Yes.
Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such
Yes.
that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there.
As long as there is
Well, I'd like to apologize.
development.
Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
It's just getting worse. It's getting way worse. Oh my gosh, the line is getting like all crazy. Ooh, employee 432 peer reviews. Okay. Financial records. So many. There's so many. The line goes in weird directions. And so many wonky directions. Oh my god.
Wait, cut the music. Go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Sure.
Wait, what? We're back at the office?
Yeah.
No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Maybe the story is the friends we made along the way.
Still missing the doors. Did we make a mistake following the line? Perhaps we could have found the story on our own.
Yeah. Probably. Ooh, this one's open now.
Oh, no, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
You're just gonna keep... It's gonna be a death spiral. The more you mess with it, the more it's going to want to go crazy.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us?
Oh?
We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story?
That's
Something exciting,
exactly.
daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Yeah, let's check it out. See, we're getting on the same page,
Now,
narrator.
yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go
We're
wild.
just going in circles.
Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it. Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
And because your crummy story, there's not much of a plot to adhere to.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important, we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic.
Sure.
Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Can I make Stanley sick? Can I make him sick? No.
Oh, hold up, what's this?
The confusion ending.
The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game
gosh.
eight times?
Oh my
That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall.
Oh.
Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide?
7th restart. There's no longer
get a say
an
in
office,
all of
simply
this?
a black
Is it really?
space. Wander in the blackness.
No, it can't be.
Find a
I don't
bookstore.
want
Get
it to be.
bored. Leave.
I don't want the
Narrator
game to keep
restarts
restarting. I don't want to
Narrator's
forget what's
gone.
going on.
After a long time,
I don't want to be trapped like
Stanley
this.
dies.
I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped?
Identical replica of the...
Does that mean... did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule?
The game restarts on its own.
How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree?
Maybe.
I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
Yep.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go
That's
to the
one
meeting
ending.
room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, so this time we're gonna go, like I said last time, we're gonna go...
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
We're gonna follow the narrator till the end and then deviate then.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find... Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Ooh, okay. Don't mind if I do. Money in the morning, money in the evening, money for breakfast, money crisp. Money in the... It sounds like a Nickelback song. Money in the morning, money in the evening, money for breakfast, money crisp. Something like that.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Let's see. We go through here. There's this. Okay, so this was nothing. And then... we're gonna go down. And then there was a escape option.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Really? Oh, really, narrator? I am going to meet my violent death?
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
No.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. There we go. Ooh.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture.
Interesting.
He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end
from,
to his
like,
brief and shallow life.
FNAF
Farewell, Stanley.
sister location.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
We killed the narrator too. Did we? Oh my gosh. The narrator, like, just became GLaDOS. Weirdly enough.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
A scale model of it. The office layout. The blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path from Stanley's office to the two doors was the first part of the game that was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout the development, and though the core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. Interesting. Corridor. The pacing of the opening section was important to get right. The corridor have to be moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the two doors in good time. The two doors. The set of two doors the two open doors was the very first concrete place of Stanley Parable's design. Once the room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an extension of it, as an exploration of the contradiction of the room posed. Interesting. Okay. The office. Oh my gosh, and then there's like door panels. I like this little museum that we have here. Stanley's computer. Can I press buttons? Don't do anything though. Nature paintings. Funny. Oh wow. English beam. I'm sorry. I'm trying to read this, but my brain is trying to flop words around. So, filing cabinet, office computer. Oh, look, solitaire. Can I play it? No. Why can't this game be fun? I just want to snoop. I can't just snoop. the desk, and then I'm presented with a choice. And these are the credits. Did I get all the endings? In an hour? It can't be. Maintenance room. An early version of the maintenance room. I really like this, like, Stanley Parable, like, museum that we have here. In early development, we designed an ending where Stanley would end up on a battlefield fighting aliens. The action game would become sentient and would wage war against the narrator. We realized shortly after starting to build it, it was far too jokey and on the nose for the tone of the game. Plus, some people interpreted it as making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. But that would have been so cool. It would have been like a Boneworks ending, but a Boneworks ending is a good ending too. Okay, so I have more endings. Okay. Because I was getting concerned. Because I would think this ending would not happen till, like, I get all the endings. Ultra Deluxe announcement. In December 2018, we announced the Ultra Deluxe version of Stanley's Parable, the game, at the Game Awards. These are screenshots of the videos we made for the announcement in the game's delay. Cool. Office, the lounge, an early version of the lounge. But then it was epic. The cargo lift. The second version is functionally the same as what the final game, but we wanted it to look more like a place where cargo was actually stored. Yeah, this looks too Portal. Not to say Portal's bad, but Portal's got a vibe of, like, not much really happened there. It doesn't have, like, a human touch. The cargo lift was always intended to offer the choice of staying or jumping to a different path. However, after this early version, we decided that we wanted the option of the player falling to their death. So there's another one. What does the countdown mean? Okay. In a previous version of the choice leading to the apartment ending, the timer would give you a 15-second pick up the phone. Not pick up the phone would lead to a different ending. Okay, that's kind of cool. Oh, wow. These were the floor plans. The flow of the hallways following the first two doors was important to get right. Some players will replay them so many times. We discussed a number of designs, but ultimately it was the simplest version that won out. Cool. Zending levers. These levers were originally part of the Zending. The player would pull a lever, and the narrator would describe the color they had to pull. Okay. Zending. The screenshot depicts the early version of the ending note as the Zending, which was eventually cut and merged with another part of the game. Okay. Cool. The Zending model. The Zending went through many iterations. This room represents the 4th version of the ending, and we thought it was complete, but decided to abandon the change and changed it again shortly before launch. Escape menu. For a long time, we had an ending that was only ended when the player restarted the ending menu. Fortunately, very few players realized it was what they were supposed to do, which was frustrating for everyone. I see, I see. We ran 4 major teaser trailers over the course of game development, each meant to convey something about the spirit of the game. This is the first one, released May of 2012. It features a series of broken rooms, a voice of the narrator informing the viewers that he is repairing a new version of the Stanley's parable. Interesting. I really like this like museum of like Stanley parable. Like, it's really cool. Ooh. Oh, the boss's office. Screens from development. So it was that, then it was this, then it turns into this. Let me see. What's in here? Oh, this is if I went the other way. Okay. So we didn't miss much. I don't think. Ooh. Interesting. Underground's early version. Okay.
Now then, this elevator for sure will get him right back on track to where he was supposed to be in the story.
Writing. The voice of the narrator recorded dialogue for the entire game roughly...
He traveled upward to the power source at the top of the facility.
For the entire game roughly 3 separate times over the 2 years of development.
Stood on the snow.
These are clips from early takes that were not used from for the final game. Okay. That's actually kind of cool. Let's go. Freedom ending. This was the first incarnation of freedom ending the game alpha. Okay. Countdown room. Early version of the countdown room. The monitor room. Elevator. For a time, the elevator in the monitor room would go up or down. The freedom of above, the countdown below. We abandoned this where the player found it too difficult to remember which was up and which was down, and place the 2 endings together instead. Freedom ending. This ending is as it existed in the beta. Okay, give Star Dewey. Countdown desk, one of the desks from the early version of the countdown scene. Okay. Yeah, I know. This is huge. Like, I guess, do we go here?
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Let me see. I think I missed the top floor of the museum. So I think this is where we progress, but I want to make sure that we're not missing anything. Because it is really cool that we get to see all of this, and, like, I don't know how we would get back to this ending. So these are iterations of the office. Stanley's office from Left to right, the evolution of Stanley's office over time. The first was created in November 2011, the second March 2012, and the third February 2013. So boring, boring, and boring. As intended. Let me see. Yeah, we already looked here. I think. Ooh, okay. Wow, congratulations. In line with our previous announcements regarding... Don't go and change it while I'm reading. I want to tell you that I liked the Stanley Parable as much... okay, I give up. I can't read it. Narrator emails. After the second trailer was sent out, we asked people to email the narrator for questions. While he initially planned to use those for further promotional material, we never found a perfect use for them. Here are the selections of these emails. Okay, that's actually kind of cool. I think at this point it's time to press forward. I think we saw everything. I think. Really don't know, but I think we got the gist of it.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen.
Oh. They cannot.
But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
Meh. At least we got that in. We got an ending for that. Okay, let's stay in the room. It's not going anywhere. Let's see. Is this the room that we have to stay in, or is it the boss's room? Let me know. Because, like, I know of some endings. I just don't know all of the endings. Let me see. Stay in this office? Okay. Alright, let's see what happens. I was so dumbfounded that I stayed in the office. But yeah. But, so, yeah, like I was saying about the presentation earlier, I had a presentation that I had for class today, earlier today. I had... Basically, I go to marketing class. I decided to take this class because I needed an extra class for my scholarship. And so, for my scholarship to pay for the class I needed, I had to take an extra class. So I took the marketing class. But this teacher is very harsh. Basically, he'll grade the first couple people like a normal grade, but then he'll start grading progressively harder on people as it goes on. And basically, it started out like he was already not grading people very highly, but the most they got was like a B. So, not great. But then, like, it just got worse and worse and worse. The team before us had gotten a C-, and the team before them got a D. And why I was worried that I was worried because I thought we were going to become just like that team that got the D. Because what happened is, for that team, they had an issue where they had a person. Wait, you have to go out near. You have to go out. Says the first thing. And then go back into the. Reach the empty office, then go back. Okay. So I'll do that. So, like I was saying, so that team...
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, so maybe... Not this, but maybe in the meeting room. New content. We can do the new content. Want to do new content? Got a wonderful... Okay. Maybe it's... I want to go down this one. I'm going to go down this ending and then we'll revisit.
New content? What does that mean? New content.
Ooh. Where are we going? Oh, we're on a people mover.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers.
Oh my god.
After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
Oh my gosh. This is so cool.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over.
What would make this better is if we had
step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable.
If it was like
Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing
What
adventure.
would have made that better is if it was like the Foxy,
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we...
The Foxy,
should we be moving somewhere or... oh, there we go. All
laser
right, finally,
gun game?
At long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's
it would have been
it.
really cool to see that. Have like a laser gun thing to riff off of that.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Jump? Okay, so I have to jump 26 times now. Let's see. I'm getting a workout. Oh, I ran out of jumps. Sadness.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And if... Oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes.
Let's see.
I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Let's see what it is. Okay. Portally vibes.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar.
No
and don't
way,
get me
this is a
started on the level of
critique.
craftsmanship that's
This
gone
just
into
became
it.
a
In fact, I'm
parody.
looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Okay, let's see. Ooh, a little different. This is a little different. A lot different. This is not how the Stanley Parable looked before.
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something!
I can't get the wrench. Okay. I'm gonna follow the narrator for now.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret.
Oh my
Take a look.
gosh. What is this?
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing
Oh
all my
my
favorite memories
gosh.
so I can relive the
No
peak experiences of
way.
my life whenever I want. Experiences like
gosh,
the
it's
launch
so
of the Stanley Parable on
beautiful.
PC.
Oh my gosh.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful
Oh my gosh,
Stanley
it's
Parable
like
was before it
it's
was
got
solid with
like
a
the
cheap
Stanley
re-release?
Parable like box
Remember back in
here and
October
then
of
the
2013,
a
when the
game
game
award
originally
type
launched?
thing.
Back then, video
And
games had
then like
integrity.
is this a
Back
BAFTA
then,
or
it all
maybe
meant
SAG?
something.
I don't know.
Oh,
Maybe
waste.
one of these. I don't remember what it is. Give me one sec. Let me check something that's going on up. Alright, I am back. I had to fix a crisis that was going on. So it kind of... It took me a minute, but I think it's resolved now. So... And doesn't need my attention anymore. So let's get back into this. So that way we can have fun. But yeah, sorry I had to take a little break. Let me see. Alright. And let's go. Alright. It's cozy in here at least. Like, it looks really cool. And like, decent. Which door did I enter from? Well, I guess it doesn't matter because we're going this way. Demonstration. Let me see. A new video game releasing today. New York Times. Cool. They have the Los Angeles Times also? Interesting. Okay, okay. Yes, I am back.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism. 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim. It was Persona 3. It was all of them. And now...
Careful, narrator. It's going to your head
it's no games
right
at
now.
All. It isn't even
like,
the Stanley
this
Parable
is
anymore.
like not healthy.
It's just a husk now.
No, it's not.
A lifeless husk with an
You're
hour
gonna
of
figure
new
it out. We're
elevator
gonna figure it out
content.
together. Don't worry. I know we hated each other initially, but we're gonna make it through this. You know, like we're gonna make it through, and we're gonna figure it out and get it all done. Ooh, there's something here. Ending is the ending? Okay. So, let's see. Maybe there's another...
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games, and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect.
I wouldn't say that.
It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
The quickest ending. Oh, wow. Okay, let's see. Where are we going? The serious room. Where's my jumping? I want my jumping. I want to see the serious room. Okay, I guess not.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back to have it all over again.
Well, you can always restart it.
Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before.
Ooh.
What's this? What's down here? Oh, no. Oh, God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years.
Oh, why?
I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here.
Oh,
Surely
no.
these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Maybe not.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny.
Oh, gosh.
With his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Funny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Narrator, it's just one bad comment. This is why you can't let good comments and bad comments go to your head. You just have to take it with a level head and just deal with it, and not let it get to you, because both good comments and bad comments can really mess with your psyche, and you're really not doing well.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley?
Oh.
I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy, honestly.
And he's ignoring the good comment.
This is actually quite shocking for me. I always, well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it...
But,
well,
like,
I always
you need to
but maybe it
believe in your own game.
Yeah. What an awful
believe
memory
in yourself.
to have to hold on to. These black marks are my otherwise unimpeachable track record. And I feel...
Come on,
like
narrator.
Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
You're just letting their comments get to you. You just... the problem is you have this pristine idea that it's the perfect game. And the problem is you can never consider anything that you have as perfect, because once faced with the layer of scrutiny, you're not going to be able to hold up to it. It simply is not going to work out.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button.
Oh, that might have hurt.
Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Yeah, but you don't get it.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for.
I refuse.
And I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue. And it goes something like this. The story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so, now you see, blah, 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet. No, until 245.
Sorry, sir, but I am...
The logic of elimination
I am not letting
the
you
self-sabotage. Becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday.
You can talk as long as you want.
And never a moment before
I will not let you tire of yourself.
It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say... The story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so, now you see, blah, 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet. No, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years.
How long
until
you
just
could
yesterday,
stop
here and there,
self-deprecating?
forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime.
Like,
it can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say...
the story, and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once.
Are you gonna get
so,
tired?
Now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet. No, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago?
Okay,
which is why
I'll
say
skip it.
the story, and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so.
Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games.
Not really.
Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations.
No, it
Not
wasn't.
that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto. Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are, or were, or will be at the time of having made said choice.
Yeah,
That is to
so?
say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that choice into being, then by making no choice and saying nothing, are you not simply erecting in the sanctuary of time a monument to every person you've ever been, making every choice to which you've ever given your great gift of mortal and yet timeless thought? Or rather, do all of the choices you've ever made, in fact, make you more not this kind of person, and in fact do the very opposite?
Yeah.
You see, it could in fact be both
It's
of these
Schrodinger's
things
cat.
at once.
Every
that you are
choice you
both
ever
making
make,
choices
there's always an
and
opposite,
not making
and there's
choices,
always
and that they are
a choice
both
where you
affecting
didn't
you
make it.
and not affecting you at the same time by virtue of the fact that you both are and are not making them. Okay, at first, I was leaning towards manifesto, but now I'm going to circle around and slap the treatise label on this one. I think it has much more of a treatise vibe to it. But
Oh,
wouldn't
no,
you
should
say
I
that
s- should I
manifesto
skip it
just
again?
has a much grander sort of tone? It has a mouthfeel that is rich with ambition and history. Ambitious history, if you will. Ah. See, now you've gotten me going back to manifesto. Heavens, at this rate, we're going to be here all day. Okay, look. I have a method for exactly this sort of situation, and I
Okay.
do find myself in this situation frequently. I'm going to say each word back and forth in repeated succession until I become sick of one or the other, in which case the word I am not sick of shall be the victor.
Okay.
It is an unimpeachable strategy, Stanley. It's rescued me from disaster in countless situations. All right. Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review, or at least change some of the
No,
wording,
they won't
perhaps.
change it.
To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should become better educated on exactly how Steam works. Perhaps that would have been the smart thing to check on before I went about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at
Okay.
work, surely whoever it is runs Steam will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one. Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know,
Oh, wow.
it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's
keep
been 12
insisting.
hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, wow,
I have
look at the
someone
plant.
to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been.
Sorry,
right?
dude.
Me talking and you saying nothing.
Did I kill the narrator?
Oh, hello, it's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time, I stopped keeping track after a year.
Oh, the
have you ever
door
sat down in
changed.
one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past.
Unfortunately.
And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant.
Okay.
In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly rich wellspring of both delight and disgust simultaneously. I was consumed by it. I could do nothing but wallow in it for what felt like an eternity, for what I now know was far less. You see, it was a revelation for me. It was unlike anything I had ever known. It was a space without consequence, without action or outcome. It was divorced entirely from the question of free will that you and I have squabbled over for so long. There could be no one ending, no singular outcome of events, not if all events existed in the same moment. And I felt freed.
Okay,
I felt unburdened
you felt free
by the need to manifest a particular outcome into being.
Okay, I can press it now. Okay, good. Are you dead yet? Can I set off the smoke alarm? Can I just skip till this building's decayed? Is this, like, building gonna go on fire or something?
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth.
Okay, quiet. Is the skip button not gonna work?
The end is never the end, is never the end, is
oh, this guy's going crazy.
The end is never the end, 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 is never the.
I hear rain. Like dripping. Let's see. This place is dripping. So let's try this. Yay! We're getting our exit. We're waiting for it. Ooh! Soon we're gonna have our exit. We're almost there. I see sunlight. Give me more of a skip. More Skippy. Oh my gosh, we now have wildlife. And I think the narrator's long dead. Oh, what happened here? It's like an end of the world situation. Did the world end? What happened? Did the atom bombs drop or something? Oh, that is disconcerting. This just became like a horror. Oh. Yay! Oh my gosh. can go in any direction. Okay. Let's see. Anything behind here? No. No. Oh, it just went black. Okay. So that's an ending. So.
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were. Just a matter of time.
Different voice line. Okay.
Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Ooh, what do you have for me, Mr. Stanley? Let's see. Okay, we are implementing the skip button. Okay, we're not going that. We're this way.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy.
Yes.
So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever
this kind of
the
glitched
Stanley
out.
Parable 2.
Okay. Interesting.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Okay.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2,
this is so meta.
That's an artistic statement right there. It's
so
future-oriented.
meta.
It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
You okay there? After this, The Office ending? Okay. More TSP, better TSP, win-win, 2 sequential mid-share, paradigm shift, synergy, brick-and-mortar approach, envelope, and client-centered marketing. Dude, you're losing the plot here.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific
design,
or
pitch,
logical,
break,
really.
pitch, design, number 2, chat. Eyes, ears, nostril, arms, legs. Who took the red marker? Me. This guy really went insane after I left him there. He was standing in the restaurant, sitting in the corner. Okay. Portal 2, Half-Life 2, Batman Arkham Asylum 2. The Divinity, Original Sin 2, Doom 2, Aladdin 2, Return of Jafar, Dark Souls 2. He is getting obsessed. Show floor. New features. Yay. New content bus. Let's see where this goes.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Okay. Let's see. Hear your name in-game. Jump circle. Infinity hole. Button that says the name of the player. No. No, thank you. That's not conducive. I guess free achievement? Sure. Pull the lever, receive your new achievement.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that.
But that's not much of an achievement.
Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
I don't know. Something
What
fishy.
else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
I guess. Let me see.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Like, what am I gonna be able to say? Get well someday, happy 12th birthday. I guess this one, because it makes more sense.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along.
Oh, wow.
Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is. Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
Okay. Let's see. What are the collectibles?
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
One of 6. Collect them all. Wow.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game, and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
That's your problem? Let me see. Let's see.
Oh, goodness, Stanley, this is fairly awkward. I hate to do this, but before you leave, you really should go to the bucket exhibit.
Fine.
You see, there's a surprise I was going to spring on you later, and it involves the bucket. And I really do hate to break the illusion, but it's important that you go see the bucket, okay? All right, I'll get out of your hair now.
Let's see the infinite hole. And then we'll go see the bucket.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Yeah, let's see how long it takes before you get tired of it.
Wonderful. One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so.
We'll see it.
Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
Nope.
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top.
Nope.
Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
Am I gonna die? Oh, that's
Okay,
cool.
Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly
That's cool,
exaggerated
ZG.
the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity.
I don't
From
know.
one
I think
perspective,
we're gonna
the
be.
infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal
Really?
person actually wants to fall infinitely?
Really?
I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem.
Oh gosh.
Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean.
No, I did.
Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly
No,
infinite?
it's finite.
If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on.
It's
I'll just be up here when you're ready.
finite. It's a finite hole. I'm waiting. You're gonna admit it to me, and then we'll proceed, narrator. We'll proceed when you're ready. Let's look at the stuff that's down here. We have a mug. We have cigarettes. Interesting. 2 doors. Mold. This is the bottom. Hey, he's got to hit rock bottom at some point. Fine,
Great.
if it feels
Now,
better.
I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel. Oh, for heaven. You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of...
There you go.
Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time?
Yeah.
I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite.
It's very short.
Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above. Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. I really do have so much more to show you and to talk about.
Okay.
And I've had enough of the hole for a lifetime. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite.
Yep.
I suspect that I'm
More
starting to hit
finite.
the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep,
Yes.
even by the lax overall standards for accountability in marketing. What's
Yes.
going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter.
This is what it looks like a...
Well, there it is. The shame of my lie has come to haunt me. Not only is the hole not infinite, but it's barely even a hole at this point. It's more of a concavity, or even a very aggressive divot. How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch.
Because it bothers you.
Who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on. Is the, teleport button not working?
No.
You sure?
No.
Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago. Still nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole.
He's gonna
and now you'll get
abandon
more time
us
with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole. I get to do literally anything else.
No, mister.
Take
this
care,
is a...
Stanley.
You do not divorce me like this.
Rest of eternity together.
You will not divorce me, narrator. I'm stuck in the hole. I guess we wait for the narrator to feel bad and come back. Come on, Stanley. Come on. It ain't that bad. Ooh, it's getting deeper. As we descend down to Hades Town. Ha ha! Change your perspective. Fine. Whoa! That's actually cool. We can get much higher. Oh my gosh. This is what Stanley looks like. I guess it's different from what I thought. Like, he kind of gives the vibe of like a Danny DeFranco. Dubstep music. At what point does this stop? Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, this is giving Alan Wake vibes. Change yourself? Wait. What the hell? Oh my gosh. We're just legs now. Oh my gosh. Oh god. Okay, claymation. Oh, a novel version. Scribble. More realistic.
Stanley? 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 Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley, because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment.
Oh, wow.
So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things,
I was focused
you
on
and
the
I
hole.
will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley.
No.
I'll be back. Toodle-pip.
I'm just like round and round and round and round and round and round and round. Yay! We escaped! We escaped! Alright.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
No. Red is the new orange. New update. Okay, let's go find out what this bucket is.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and
Is there supposed to be a
ease will
bucket
fill
here?
your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Sure.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body.
It's fine.
And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well?
Sure.
I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they?
Come on.
All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
This seems boring, dude. Can I throw it? Can I ram it? Oh, I can leave.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Okay. We got the hole. Let's see the exit. Let's see. Exit time. You better not block it this time. Okay.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work.
It's
There's
gonna work,
definitely
really.
a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay, are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
And how do I get to it?
Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original
And now
game.
He's realizing...
Would it possibly work?
How the why it's called Ultra Deluxe.
It would need a really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Okay. Alright.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Oh my gosh.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push,
We're back to
how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year.
Oh my gosh.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
The bucket? Oh my gosh.
Stanley felt the bucket calling to him,
No.
begging him to pick it up.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nope.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you forgot. What? Really? And in the middle of something, do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done.
Sure.
You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Okay, sure.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
Nope.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the... All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map. Because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted?
Yeah.
Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you?
Yeah.
Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback.
Let's see what we got.
There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Hey, Geeksan. What's up?
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Oh, of course. A 3. Really? Maybe next time we can get you to form an actual opinion, you know? Any level of critical thinking or engagement with your surroundings? Does that sound good?
Maybe
think we can do
put
that?
it 1 to 4 if you wanted a real opinion.
Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look. Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
That's fine. Okay. Who cares? Let's go this way. Can't go anywhere. I'm stuck. Yeah, this is the newest remaster game that they did, but they added new content, so it's like you get to mess with the narrator. How am I... What am I missing? Am I supposed to clip through it? What is going on? It locked me in here. I guess.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Maybe Stanley would never pick up the bucket. A lonely bucket, lonely and miserable.
Stanley-less.
And Stanley-less. Such a sad
Yeah,
fate for
I think
bucket.
I did soft lock myself.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first.
I have to at least soft lock by accident at least
Stanley
once.
felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look,
Oh, you wanted to
it.
show me.
Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked... All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
Nothing.
You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you?
If you truly didn't want me to see it, you would have locked the door.
Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees?
Nothing.
Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Oh, of course. A 3. Really? Maybe next time we can get you to form an actual opinion, you know?
Yeah.
Any level of critical thinking or engagement with your surroundings. Does that sound good? Think we can do that? Yes? Wonderful.
Let's keep going.
Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version.
Let's get
and
to
to be
this.
perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
I know one wrong answer.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
I hate it. I have to stop. Of course, it soft locks if you do any other option. Ugh. Why can't I do different options?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting
I'll go
room.
the way I'm
Perhaps he had
supposed to.
simply missed a memo. Stanley, pick up the bucket.
Ha ha ha! Fine.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
I picked up the bucket. Can I throw your stupid bucket somewhere? Where am I supposed to take this? Okay. Alright, I'm allowed to go through because I have the bucket.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Nope.
No, stop. Look there on the wall, you see? There's a sign right there. It says, "No buckets past this point." Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless...
What if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
Fine.
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin.
I'm getting him mad.
Item 1. Is this a bucket?
We're gonna say no, just to annoy him.
Correct. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Hehe.
Item 2.
He doesn't want to admit I am wrong.
Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Technically, I'm right. Show me.
Item 3. Is this a bucket? Incorrect. This is a bucket.
You're getting so frustrated.
Item 4. Is this a bucket? What? Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's an enormous machine that tills the earth. I thought this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible. Let's just move on to the next one.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Is this a bucket?
Yes.
Correct. This is a bucket.
Have I broken you?
Item 6. Is this a bucket? Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
Yeah. Got me that time.
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere. Okay, you and I both know there isn't anything here. And I don't appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know that a bucket is something. And therefore nothing could possibly be something. Unless, in your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket? You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket?
I caused an existential
Stanley,
crisis.
I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game.
Yes!
Okay, here we go.
Disappear. Yay! No buckets!
What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket?
I win!
I have no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket.
But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person. All right, here we go.
So you're not gonna force me to hold the bucket now.
How wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Oh my gosh.
And here it was, the lounge. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions.
I love that we were looking into the abyss. I do agree, Geeksan. I love that we were looking into the abyss while
I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
Let's see what else this corridor takes us to.
Someone you forgot. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red... All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map.
What happens after the leaderboard, so I want to see
broken rooms,
like
exposed
what that
other
door
leads. Is this what you had
leads.
wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Oh, of course. A 3. Really? Maybe next time we can get you to form an actual opinion, you know? Any level of critical thinking or engagement with your surroundings? Does that sound good? Think we can do that? Yes? Wonderful. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look. Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
I hate that it keeps soft locking it. Okay, we're not going to do that ending for a little while. Whose phone? Okay, there's a phone.
Hi, Stanley. Just wanted to leave you a message to let you know there's a few things I need you to pick up on your way home from work.
Oh,
today.
wow.
We need milk, cereal, dish soap, spaghetti, get a thing of sugar, some bread, and coffee beans, whichever ones you like.
Oh, wow. We finally gave her a voice that is,
Thanks,
like,
see you tonight.
a little more personality. Cool. Oh, wow. Hi, JJR.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
In a what? Ever work in a high-rise office before IRL? Not really. Not in this type of setting, but I used to have to go and do like State of the Union addresses and stuff like that for like the cities that I worked in.
It was okay.
And after I did that, when I would do those, I would basically
Stanley took the
do
first
them.
open door on his left.
Shut up, narrator, for a sec. But basically, when I would go to these events, I would have to like help with putting on a performance. So we would perform for these people that were paying money to go to the State of the Union address. Rich people, for the most part, were there. And we would go and be in these high rises, perform for these people, get the free food, and then jump into the trunk of someone's car and go home. Okay.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
We've done falling off the platform.
I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you
What
all
is
this
that
time.
over there?
There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself.
But yeah,
Now,
it's so
I'm not
very
asking
weird.
For me, I'm asking for her.
I worked 7 years doing
This
stuff
is
like
it,
that
Stanley.
for my life.
Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Oh, we did this ending already. We did this ending. We did that ending. I forgot we did this ending because it was like at the beginning of the playthrough.
The meeting room. Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be alone ever again.
Okay, so we did that playthrough.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the
We're gonna
meeting
go
room, and Stanley
and-
knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just
We'll
to
follow
admire it.
through the door.
It was okay. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his
We're
left.
gonna go here.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to
went
the
down.
opposite door, and got back on track.
Okay. Okay. It's a little...
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Could he really be all alone? This was too much for Stanley to take. Too much. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety
Oh my
isn't
gosh, I'm
healthy.
loving this
So
game.
he relaxed for a few moments with some calming new age music.
Is this My model, yes, has...
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
My model does have a PlayStation 4 controller, which my brother is trying to fix. But I play on an Xbox controller. So I do wired controller because I prefer low latency, so. Okay. Let's go down. I think there's another ending that we can do here.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Okay.
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Yeah. But the thing is, I am playing on a PC. It's just I use a Xbox controller for stuff that like this where it's a little easier.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Okay, freedom meant nothing.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe it couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
My thing is I'm very bad at aim because I have problems with depth perception.
He couldn't accept
first-person shooter
his
games
own life
actually
in
fall
someone
flat
else's
for me
control.
because I can't
Never.
aim
It was
for shit.
unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Utterly blind to the world? Do. Okay. Can I go? Oh my gosh. You guys are fighting in the chat. Okay, do I press a button? This the button? Oh, I do a press.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation.
Okay.
Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Yeah, but you see it as just you. I see both Twitch and YouTube. Can I... Let me see. I think there's a button where we could say yes.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power,
Here it is.
He knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you?
Yes, I did.
After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go. Turn the controls off.
I've already done
leave.
off. That's why
If you want to throw my story off
did
track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex.
Explode, is
How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is.
Here together.
More time to talk about you.
Till then.
About me. Where we're going. What all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say
like
this,
The
though,
Sims.
this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left.
Yeah.
But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees.
Okay, you're just gonna give me more time.
Oh, dear me. What's the matter, Stanley?
To wait.
Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room.
That I'm not
These
pressing a
numbered buttons.
button?
No, these
When
colored
I've been
ones.
pressing buttons
or maybe
all
this
this
big
time.
red button. Or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place
Ooh,
is?
it's shaking.
Stanley,
Getting
you're in for
pissed.
quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world,
this feels
that's
like a challenge,
fine.
though.
But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here. Just you
But
being
isn't
blown
that
to
going to be
pieces.
painless?
Will you cling desperately to your frail life? Or will you let it go peacefully?
You're scared. You
Another
don't like
choice.
lemons?
Make it count.
I can't lie.
It's
I
all
can't.
the
I don't
same
like
to me,
fruit
all a part of the
generally.
joke.
Like the
And
only
believe me,
fruits I can
will be
bear
laughing at
is
every
like
second of your
cranberry.
inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say happily ever up.
That's an ending. We got another ending at least. You're scared of lemons? What scares you about them? Like, there has to be a reason. Like, is it like a general phobia? I'm not laughing at you. I'm just curious.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay. is what it is.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. It was okay.
It's fine if you have an irrational
But eager
fear,
to get back to business,
of lemons.
Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why? I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
I used to do that.
Now listen
but the
carefully,
problem
this
is
important.
that if
Stanley
you go
walked
and
through the red door.
If you go and Twitch has a policy of like they don't like it when you use multi-chat and show YouTube's chat or TikTok's chat or Instagram chat, and if I were to do multi-chat, it would be seen on both sides, and so that way, to be safe, I use Stream Elements' chat, multi-chat. So YouTube is, I see YouTube and I see Twitch, but I don't see either way. I don't have, it doesn't get like cross-haired. I do wish eventually that policy gets lifted, but in the time being, that's the policy that Twitch has. I haven't done the red door yet, so sure.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Okay.
What do we want? What are we looking for?
What is this?
Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
That's good. This looks like a fever dream. Ooh, we're getting more. But yeah, it's not the first time someone has spammed my chat with funny things. Like, once they did, like, they copy and pasted the whole script for the Bee movie at one point. Just for funsies. So, as long as it's not disruptive, it's fine. So, that's my deal with it. And look at how beautiful this is. It's so pretty. It kind of reminds me of Ratatouille. You know that scene from Ratatouille where, like, Remy, like, is eating a lemon? Not a lemon. A cheese and, like, a fruit. I think it's a grape. And basically, he eats them and then he has this experience where he has, like, the colors mixed together. So it's like this. I guess this is nice. We'll both relax and chill. Oh, it's so pretty. And psychedelic a little bit. Not too psychedelic, but just a little. You don't know what you've never watched Ratatouille? It's the Disney film with the rat that controls a human by pulling his hair. It's a really good film. What is the Bee movie? You don't know the Bee movie with Jerry Seinfeld? It's think the most memeable, terrible kids movie that you could ever find. Basically, like, there's a lot. It's very indicative of the early 2000s. Like, it literally yeah. But basically, it's very indicative of the early 2000s era. It has that, like, old humor, where it's, like, adult humor and kids show. And it just gets weird. The bee falls in love with the human, and then the human, like, is like, oh, I'll go and I'll sue the the manufacturers who make honey, in order to go and make sure we give the honey back to the bees. And then basically the bees are like, have so much honey that they basically don't pollinate anything, and it just kills everything. And then they're like, maybe the bees need to pollinate everything. And so the bees just decide, yeah, I think we have to restore to the old way that it was when corporations, like, owned beehives. Like, it's just a weird film. And, like, there's a vibe, like, she leaves her husband for a bee. And her husband is Kronk from Emperor's New Groove. Yeah. It's literally that. I'm not even kidding. It's just wild. But, like, it's a weird, that one's a weird movie, and everybody memes it to death, and so they decided one time to, like, go and copy and paste it into my chat and just have that as a, like, the funny thing they would do. And because the thing is that I do a adaptation of Death Note that I write. And so because I write a script adaptation of Death Note, they were like, oh, this would be perfect. This would be hilarious to do. So yeah, it's not the first time someone spammed my chat. Oh my gosh. It's so pretty. But, like, does it have an ending? Or does this just keep going? I think it just keeps going because the door's open.
No, wait. Where are you going? Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
Oh, poor guy, but no.
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't
Oh,
take this
no.
from me. Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing. No! Oh, thank God. You lived. You had me worried there for a moment. Now, no. No, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
I gotta go back, dude. I'm sorry. Yeet!
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me?
He's
My
so
God.
sad.
Is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are
It's
literally
not
willing
that,
to kill
dude. I
yourself
need to get
keep
to
me
the
from
next
being
ending.
happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
He's so defeated. It's so sad.
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted
Oh my
us to
gosh,
get along.
the depression
But I guess
sunk
that was
in.
too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
Oh my gosh, it's so sad. This poor guy. I'll check out ID 0.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
But yeah, oh gosh. A lot of notes, dude.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
No, but maybe eventually I will. I do take anime recommendations and check them out. I don't watch them on stream,
When
obviously.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, which one have we not done stuff for? I think we've done everything. No, we haven't done everything in this one, so we have to
This was
continue.
not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first,
I'll check it out.
just to admire it.
But yeah, I just
was
don't
okay.
watch it on YouTube.
But
I
eager to
don't
get back
go
to
and
business,
like stream it,
Stanley
but
took the first
I watch
open
them
door
and
on
then
his
I
left.
say what I thought about it, and I enjoy.
Stanley
most
was so
part.
bad at following directions. It's incredible
I
it
do it
wasn't
that way
5
'cause
years
then-
ago.
12 episode is good, but is it like
Look, Stanley,
12
I think
episodes because
perhaps we've gotten off
the
on the wrong
season got
foot
cut off
here.
early,
I'm
or
not
is
your
it 12
enemy, really, I'm
episodes,
not.
but
I
where
realize
they've
that
like
investing
stopped
your
it?
trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
It's a series. Okay.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red... All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
There. We're
You
gonna
see?
do this ending.
There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building
from
this section of the
2007?
map
That's actually
because you were never
solid.
supposed to be here in the first place.
Um,
Broken rooms, exposed developer textures.
Personally,
Is this what you
my
wanted?
all-time
Was it
favorite
worth
anime
ruining
of all
the
time.
entire
This will
story
tell
I
you
had
my
written out
taste.
specifically for
It's
you?
Blue Exorcist.
Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the
My
end, it was all
second
for nothing,
favorite
because this
anime,
is what you wanted to see. Help me
would be
here, Stanley.
Dining,
Help elucidate these strange and unknowable
Dining in
desires
Dungeons.
of yours. What
No,
would have made this game better?
Delicious in
What did you
Dungeons. It's
want
something
to
like that.
see? Vehicles? Skill trees?
Third
Work with
would
me.
be
You've given
Nora
me
and the
absolutely
Yokai
nothing so far.
Yokai Clan.
Tell you what, let me take a stab in the dark at a new design and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
Let's see what happens when he's happy.
Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door? Well, it's instinct mostly. A calling
it's not Yokai Watch, it's
really
the Yokai
say
Clan.
Where the idea came from, except that
Nora and the Yokai Clan. It's really good.
You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try.
The only thing that I think
based
that
on the data from your previous playthrough,
holds it back a little bit,
and to be perfectly candid,
is
I think I've knocked it out
like
of
the
park
friend group.
Let's take a
like
look.
the friend group's decent in the first season, but once you get to the second season,
helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors. Again, honest answers,
the
please.
second season like basically makes them like not even like an afterthought, basically. Maybe, is it like up there? I think this part is broken, because if it's not fixing by it now. Alright, so now we gotta figure...
Already this was uncomfortable, and Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life.
Okay, what is the next place? Yeah. So JJR, are you subscribed? Not pressuring you into doing it, just wondering.
He entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. It was okay.
Oh, that's wonderful. I wish we could sit. Let's bang on the soft drink. Come on. Give me a soft drink. Okay.
Yes. Really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
So let's see if we can, like, jump down without dying.
Stanley was so bad
because
at following
I wanted
directions.
to see
it's incredible
if
he wasn't
we can,
5 years ago.
Because it has to be no... Yes, okay. Woo, woo, woo. Woo, woo, woo. Ooh. Okay.
Another miniature Stanley figurine.
Oh my gosh.
You know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about
snappier
stands? Stanley figs. What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Okay, so let's see. Could we... Alright, is there a way that we can go and jump down, but it not kill us? Let's see.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death.
Well,
good
worth
job,
a shot.
Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
It was worth a shot.
Hi, Stanley. Just wanted to leave you a message to let you know there's a few things I need you to pick up on your way home from work today.
All right.
We need milk, cereal, dish soap, spaghetti.
I'm gonna
get a thing
see.
of sugar,
Let me go on my
some
Steam
bread,
real quick and check
coffee
to
beans,
see
whichever ones you
what
like.
endings have
I'll
we
give you a call
not
if there's
gotten.
anything I forgot. Thanks, sweetie. See you tonight.
So I'm gonna check. What have we not gotten? Because I want to make sure that I'm, like, getting all the endings and I'm not, like, just, like, oh, yeah, we're just checking. You know, I want to make sure we have them all because it's, like, I want to make sure we're getting everything. Okay. There it is. Where it is. But yeah. Okay, come on. Move over. Okay, let me see. Okay, so let me see Steam. Steam, where is Stanley? Here's Stanley Parable. And let's see, achievements. I would have had this set up if I had, like, I would have had it set up, if I had known that I was going to do this like this. Like, if I had more preparation time, I probably would have, like, done this, but because I ran out. Then quit the game, then start it again. Click on the door 435 times. 888 test achievement, please ignore. Settings world champion. Set all the settings slimer to all the available numbers. Speed run in under 4 minutes and 22 seconds, not including load times. Super go outside. Don't play Stanley Parable for 10 years. And then play Stanley Parable for the entire duration of a Tuesday. Okay. It says we beat the game. Well, let's do 4:30. Going in, clicking on 4:30. Because I haven't seen that as a ending quite yet. And I want to see what that does. Okay, let's go back to the game. Okay. All right. We're gonna put my mouse back and let's check out what 4:30 does. So click on 435 times.
Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition. I have to say I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks.
I am clicking this so fast.
No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
Wait. Might be a trick. Fine. For 25 417.
Oh, great. Now, go click a few times on door 437.
437. Okay.
Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so.
415. Okay, 415. That's 417.
Now, back to door number 437.
Okay. Then we're gonna click on this. 437.
Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine? All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere.
He's mocking me.
Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk.
Input received. Like, seriously. Like, what am I supposed to do now? Okay, we go on to this box. And
yes,
yes,
this
we
is
did
great. You're putting it all on the line, Stanley. I like that. All right, let's keep it up. Go give me a few clicks on door 416.
416. Okay, let's check 416. 417, 416.
We've almost got it. Now the copy machine, do that one again.
Copy machine, where is it?
Finish it off, Stanley. 5 clicks on door 430. Yes! We did it! Oh, wow. That felt amazing. Oh, you really earned it, Stanley. Nothing could hold you back. Yes, I'm very proud of how far we've come today. Just think, only a few minutes ago, you believed an achievement was worth 5 little clicks.
Oh, my gosh.
Really now? What were you thinking?
Oh, wow. That was good. All right. It's time to wait in here for it to stop. Because I don't know of any other ending that we can get. True, he does. He sounds like he watches YouTube videos like secretly of Stanley's Parable, just so that way he can be like, yes, rooting for it. You have to close the door. Oh, okay.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go anywhere except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure,
what I
beyond
did to
any doubt,
you,
was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive.
You got a little taste
soon,
of that.
Very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
All right. I think that was the last ending. I loved it. It was fun. Let me. I loved it. It was fun. It was just awesome. Hi, Living Theater. Welcome. Welcome in. We just finished, I think, playing Stanley's Parable. I don't think there's any more endings, unless you know there's an extra ending that I haven't done. But yeah, I think we're gonna put Stanley's Parable to bed. And then after this, I'm going to go and, like, do Death Note. So we're gonna go and start do Death Note, and then I guess close out the stream at some point. Because, you know, we did pretty good. Like, I fully thought, like, this would take a lot longer than I thought. And then, like, because before I pick these games, I look up how long would it take to beat on the website, how long to beat, to see, like, what am I dealing with, and then I put put Stanley to bed, to see, like, what would I be dealing with, and what, like. And what I usually do is I would be like, okay, this is the time. Tack on about an hour and a half if I'm lucky. And I don't get, like, horribly stuck in some place. Right? So that is something that I liked, and I love this game. It was wonderful. I always love it when you guys recommend it, even though sometimes they don't go as well as, you know, this went. Like, I really love doing this. It was really fun. Save your list. You guys know that stream. Good night, sweet prince. But yeah, I save your list. I did that one, and I loved the story. I couldn't get past the ending, and I like that we're putting a new good foot forward. So if you like I said last stream, if you have any recommendations for games you would like me to see, especially meta narratives, as you see, I have a fun time with the narrator. Please recommend them in the comments. Go and, like, fill out the comments with what you want me to play. I'll look through them and see what you guys want, and see what we can do with the schedule and stuff like that. And next week we're going to do more of we're gonna do more of like Plucky Squire. We're gonna do Plucky Squire, and then after Plucky Squire, once we get into like it should be like close to Thanksgiving already. And for that one, I'm gonna see whether I'm going to do a stream or I'm going to do a like pre-recording, because I don't know what's gonna happen on that day. My job is like finicky on whether they're gonna give me the school day, so I'm like, I don't know how the day is gonna pan out. So just count on next week, and then maybe Thanksgiving, but I don't know. I realistically don't know until they do that, till they give me that schedule, because they were like, no one gets to not work on like Black Friday and stuff like that. And I'm like, why? It's not like I want to go to school, but we'll see how it goes, and who knows, it might work out in my favor, and they might be like, oh, we'll allow it this time. But that is very hopeful.